My name is Katie or Kbdoesart, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to model a pretty simple barrel. So go ahead and open up Maya and let's jump right in. I'm going to just do this whole thing using a cylinder, so go ahead and grab that cylinder, and I'm just going to push W and move it up a little bit just so it's not clipping the ground. Go ahead and hold right click and click on vertex. And I just want to click and drag and select those top vertices. And then I'm just going to click W and push them on up just to make it bigger. All right, that looks good. I think next what we should do is add a multi-cut in the middle. So hold shift, hold right click and grab your multi-cut tool. And then go ahead and hold control. And what you want to do is click your middle mouse button while holding control and it'll slice it in the middle of your object, just like that. All right, and then I want to select all those vertices and I just want to scale it up like this, just so we get that like barrel effect going. All right, next we're going to add some more multi-cuts. So I'm going to add more middle cuts on each side and then cut those in half as well. And then do cuts in the middle and on the bottom and top faces. So it will look like this once you're done adding all those middle cuts. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to be extruding these specific faces to make that barrel pattern, that like metal ring. So that looks good. Next, do Control E, and we're going to extrude it, which don't extrude it a lot. It should only be like 0.05. See how like really thin these metal strips are. So make sure they're really thin. I also want this to be a bit bigger. So let's go to object mode, click R, and then I want to go ahead and hold control and scale up on that top axis. Perfect. So now it's looking a bit rounder, a bit better. I'm also going to take these vertices right here and I'm just going to scale them in just a tad so they're not super out there. All right, let's go ahead and do the top. As you can see, it's pretty like sunken in. So let's grab these faces and do Control E and let's offset it in just a tad, maybe like 0.1, and then Control E again, and we're going to do a negative thickness on that. That should be good. All right. Now really all we have to do is just bevel some edges. So what you're going to do is you're going to be double clicking edges and then hold shift so that you can select all of them. So remember, just hold shift and double click the edges that you want to bevel. You're basically just doing any 90-degree edge is something that you want to bevel. That way it doesn't round out when we smooth the object. Don't forget the bottom and the top. All right, Control B to bevel it. And one segment's probably fine. You could give it two if you wanted to. It'll just make it like a bit tighter. All right, I still feel like I want to like take these vertices in. So I'm going to go into the front view, go to vertex mode and just select and drag. And then let's just hold control and scale down just a tad. I also think that maybe I just want the whole object to be wider. So let's just go a little bit more wide. Oh yeah, actually that looks better when it's wider. All right. As for texturing, it's pretty simple. We can grab all of the faces that are these like bands, and those will be metal. Actually, before we do that, I would probably texture the whole object, whatever you want it to be. So let's assign a new material to the whole object, do shader, AI standard surface, and then, oh, actually, while we're doing this, go up to edit and do delete all by type and delete the history. That'll just get uh, the history all cleared out, and then we can actually look at the textures a lot more easier and switch between them. I don't think I'm gonna apply a wood texture to it. I've kind of been making assets with like really plain colors lately just to make them really simple. So I think I'll just stick with like a brown, something like that, kind of like the bucket that we did. And then next up, go into front view And this is where we'll be doing face mode and holding shift and click and dragging like this to select most of those faces. Oh, I missed this one. Oh, there we go. And then any ones we miss, we can always just go back and grab. The top ones, we'll have to deselect these. So just hold tab and deselect all those by holding tab. For deselecting this, you'll want to click one and then double click hold control, click one and double click the next to deselect that. And you can do the same right here. Just do control, click one and double click the next. For these, you'll want to click one and hold the next by either holding tab or holding shift. Perfect. And then you can also do these guys. All right, let's look under. Just hold tab, click one, and double click the next. Pretty repetitive process, so I'm just going to get all the undersides first. Technically, you don't have to texture these because they are on the underside, but I kind of think that you should. All right, then we should have one more up here. Okay, perfect. So that should be all for that. Let's go ahead and do assign a new material, shader, AI standard surface. This one will make like a light gray, or a dark gray, I guess, depending on what you want to do. And then you can up the metalness on that. I'm also noticing that like the metal is supposed to be on the bottom, but I didn't make it on the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is go into front view, and then we'll go ahead and select these faces and just delete them. And then do edge mode and double click this whole bottom edge, and we'll just do mesh fill hole, and we'll get a little bottom there. Oh, and then obviously the bottom should all be the wood texture, so you can texture that wood one. I'll label this one metal, and then that should be it. Before you render anything, make sure you save it. Don't want to lose your file accidentally, that would really suck. Let's also go to Arnold, grab a sky dome light, and then let's go to poly modeling and grab a plane. I always just throw a plane into my scene. That way the object has something to sit on. And then I usually give it the checker texture because it's just something simple and easy. And then when you're ready to look at your object, you can do Arnold and render to see how it's looking. I think for the metal texture, I probably would make it just like a little bit darker. So I'm gonna do that. Maybe even like a brown. Yeah, I kind of like that. And you can up the roughness on that if you don't want it to be as reflective. This is like pure metal, so kind of up to you how rough you want to make it. You can also make that wood a lot rougher too to not reflect as much light. But yeah, that's like a super simple and easy barrel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know. I also opened up a newsletter so you guys can check out what new tutorials I'm dropping every month. And I also started a virtual tip jar in case you guys are interested in supporting me in that way. Other than that, follow me on Instagram. Check out my TikTok. I make a ton of like funny little 3D jokes and things like that. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I try to get around to them pretty quickly. But I would also love to see your guys' creations. If you textured it in a fun way or did something cool, let me know. But that's about it for this simple barrel tutorial. So I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.